Hey, hi everybody. Hi guys. How is everybody doing? For those who don't know, there is a dedicated chat in the AMA stage. If you've not got that open, go ahead and open it. We can read all your messages while we're up here and chatting with each other. This is also how we'll be getting your questions later on. Um, so let's all say hi. Great. Yeah, good to see you all. This is probably the first time a lot of people have heard my voice because we've had a lot of new members come in just over the last few months. But AMAs are something that GigaChad has done for a long time. I've hosted several of them, and this will be the first one of what we are intending to be a new cycle of AMAs. So really happy that you've all made it here today. Um, so today we are hosting a new project, a new platform for analysis called Krypteia. I'd like to introduce you all to Osman, who is one of the co-founders of Krypteia. Krypteia is a analysis tool for traders, which is powered by AI. And here at GigaChad, AI is something that we are also integrating into our own services. So we think this is going to be a great matchup for you guys. I do want to talk a little bit about GigaChad first. I'm really sorry, Osman, but just to give the gist of who we are and why we're here, because a lot of you
Sure.
will not be that familiar with our server. So GigaChad, as you know, or being members of it, is one of the biggest cryptocurrency servers on Discord. Um, through collaborations with our partners, we're able to provide exclusive airdrops and AMAs, and we share proceeds of all of our partnerships with our community rather than charge membership fees, which a lot of Discord servers do. They are pay to join or pay to access. We are completely free. We will always be completely free. We're also now one of the only servers that offers incentivized activity. So I'm sure all of you have become acquainted with our new reward system that was rolled out earlier this year. You're able to earn USDC just through participating and engaging with the conversations and content on the server. Really happy to have you all here. You've all been great. We've noticed a huge spike in activity over the last few months. Um, Airdrops are something a little newer to you guys, but it is part of GigaChad's grand history. Over the years, we've given out over $40,000 in airdrop rewards. Can you guys believe that? And to date, since rolling out the incentives service where we provide chests for activity, we've given out over $1,000 in chests to you guys. Um, so really happy to have you all here. Thank you guys so much for engaging with our server. It's through your activity, through your engagement that we're able to organize AMAs just like this. We take the proceeds from these AMAs and we run it right back to you guys. So thank you all for being here. Today, we are here with Osman from Krypteia. I gave a very brief intro. Krypteia is an analysis tool, but I think I might hand it off to Osman to explain a little bit more. So, Osman, at a very basic level, what is Krypteia? And we'll get into the meat and bones of it all later, but just at a high level, what do you want people to understand about what Krypteia is as a platform?
Yes, sure. Krypteia is called a decision intelligence system. So, what it does on a high level is it observes how traders make decisions. So, it observes and analyzes the decision-making process of the traders. And then it sees the gaps, it detects the patterns, it detects the outcomes, and it helps traders to make better decisions through insights.
Excellent. Okay. So, one of the things that we like to do is distribute airdrops as a result of our AMAs. So I'm going to quickly explain how you all can qualify for that airdrop. So what we have been doing for the last few AMAs is running our review program. This is where you basically write a review on Krypteia, everything about it, its viability, its usability, its ease of access, so on and so forth. we will be reviewing all of your reviews. And those that basically pass our checks, they will qualify for an airdrop. There is a link in the announcement channel for which will basically provide you the direct access to completing that review. And as an added bonus, we are taking basically attendance from you all, and those who are here today will qualify for potentially a slightly higher airdrop than normal, just as a reward for actually attending the AMA today. And like I said, we're really glad that you're all here. We've already had a few entrants for our review program, I think maybe 10 or 15 or so. So hoping to see everybody here put in their reviews as well and qualify for that airdrop. So Osman, back onto Krypteia. I would first like to know what motivated you to start this project, because traders already have a wealth of analytics tools available to them. So what are you hoping to achieve with Krypteia that's maybe a little bit new? What kind of different angle are you taking here that distinguishes you from existing projects?
Sure. So I started as a trader, not as someone trying to build a startup. And through my crypto journey, which started in 2021, you can imagine that I have lost a lot of money. Then I gained a lot of money, then lost again, then gained again. So I was in a terrible cycle, actually. My
Yeah,
psychology was not that great for most of the time. So, but I realized that after, especially after a certain time, most of my mistakes weren't caused by lack of information. Like I already knew what I should do, but I was not applying them because the difficult part was actually applying it under real market conditions where there is too much pressure sometimes.
yeah, totally. Especially on the shorter time frames for sure.
Exactly, like I could have the right plan and still deviate from it. And
Yeah,
the more I look into it, the more I realized most tools focus on markets, like market analysis, portfolio analysis, and metric analysis. And very few, nearly none of them, were focusing on how decisions are actually formed. That's why
hmm
we started it. Because, as we know from the active traders want to rely on their own judgment. And if they want to rely on their own judgment, that means that they want to make their decisions on their own, despite the information there is on the market, on the online creators, and in many other spaces. And if we said if we could analyze the how decisions are formed, we could differentiate from the most tools, like majority
hmm
of the tools from the market, because what we are doing here is we are actually making an invisible layer visible, which is the behavioral layer. So one of the key features of the Krypteia is its ability to detect behavioral patterns, behavioral errors, which would include like hesitation, impulsive exits, FOMO, revenge trading, and many more. So
yeah.
what we are doing at the moment is we build actually a base for our behavioral layer, and when the interaction compounds, we will extend it both horizontally and vertically.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I understand. So, what we're looking at here is a platform which is really a behavioral kind of analytics tool. So, it's for traders who maybe they've already got the hang of their indicators and other market kind of analytics, but they now want to step back and really analyze themselves and their own behavior and improve their trading from a more internal kind of like behavior-led standpoint. Does that sound about right? Oh, Osman, hello. Um,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I think you maybe lost signal for a
Maybe.
sec there. Okay, yeah. So so that is a very clear motivation for starting this project. We are approaching it from a different way. We're looking at the behavior of traders. So a person using Krypteia is Maybe they've already got all the tools available to them, but the last thing they need, the last piece of the puzzle, is working out how can I regulate my own emotions? How can I analytically look at my own trades and see where I can improve them from a logical and emotional standpoint? Does that sound fair?
Here, but I want to make a small addition to it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like emotion plays an important part here, but it's not only about the emotions, it's also about the patterns. So which strategies perform best under specific market conditions? How does performance change across volatility environments? When does strategic drift begin to appear? Like we can identify these as well. So rather than just helping someone that has emotional issues, we also identify these kind of patterns. So even it's good for experienced traders also.
Okay. Excellent. By the way, guys, I can see a lot of you asking questions. Thank you so much for putting them in, and I'll be asking those that I can. But anybody who wants to come up on the stage and ask a question themselves vocally, we will be providing additional rewards in the form of chests to people who come up on the stage and ask. So we've got one question, one request to come up and speak from El Maligo. So I'll be bringing him up to ask a question. So please come on up and fire away.
Yeah, hello. This is El Marigo speaking.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Yeah, so fortunately, as the newbie of a crypto space like me, my
Hmm.
crypto journey has, had a good start because I think I started it late and definitely I made some errors and for a lot of scams and more of that. So
Hmm.
first of all, the ideology of Krypteia sounds good and okay. Giving good reviews about your app for the fact that it has a good UI interface. What I mean by good UI interface is the fact that it is user friendly, even to the lamest of the lame man that doesn't know anything about crypto. Me opening the app already just give me a write up which I could read by myself and obviously understand what I am trying to open up in the app. Mind you, without having signed up, excuse me, but I already had a fraction of what I am going into. Then moving on further to my question.
I'm just going to
Question
say, I
one.
don't want the question to be too long, guys. If you are going to come up on stage, make sure you know what you're asking and ask it succinctly
Yeah,
because,
definitely. So the
we don't want
first
to take up
question, if I may
everybody's time.
ask, the first question, if I may ask, is what? How does Cryptia stand out from the other apps we have in the space of crypto?
So the first thing is none of the apps observes how a decision is formed. So uh, there are like great tools that analyzes the market. There are tools that analyzes the traders' metrics, such as like the rule adherence or PNLs, like trading journals. There are portfolio trackers too. But no one observes how a decision is formed. This is our core differentiator. The second thing is what we do is we do behavioral analysis. As I explained previously, we also detect patterns, not only the emotions. So automatically detecting FOMO, revenge trading, overconfidence, impulsive exits, fear or greed related trades. None of the apps in the market does that. And what we know from active traders is they are actively trading. They
Yeah,
don't rely on trading bots or they don't copy trade. That's why a reflection of themselves and seeing invisible patterns and act upon according to it would enhance their performance. So
yeah.
there is no approach like this in the market that we have seen. Go and look it out in the market. If you just seen it, just let me know. But we have done extensive research about it. So there's like not any. So Yeah, that's quite it.
Yeah. So basically, to answer the question, how does Krypteia compare to its competitors? It doesn't really have any because there's no other tool that's providing this kind of analysis, this kind of behavioral analysis on top of trades. Is that fair?
That's fair enough.
Yeah, great. Okay. We had a member in the audience just a second ago, Dr. Stonks, who I think you would have a lot of things in common with Osman. So like you, he's also someone who made a lot of money in crypto and lost a lot of money in crypto. So exhibited really extreme inconsistency, right? Giga Chad's an old server, and we've been around for quite a few years now, and we've had members who have made a lot of money and then lost a lot of money. It's a kind of pattern that we keep seeing. So why do traders continue to struggle with consistency? There is so much available to them, and behavioral kind of analysis is not like a new concept. It's maybe new in the form of a platform offering it, but we can all take a step back and look at ourselves and decide ourselves if our trades make sense. So, why is it continuing to be a problem when there are so many resources for dealing with consistency?
That's the question I need to answer, right?
Yeah.
So, like, first of all, markets change. Okay. So if you look at the previous bull markets, everyone was expecting a bull market during 2024. And what happened was a disaster, where the
Yeah.
expectations of a bull market.
Yeah.
So markets are everything that, like, as time goes, markets change. You know, there are ETF flows, now there are big players, it changes. So when the market changed, the reaction changes as well. So that's the first thing. Second thing, depending on your emotional state, how your life is going, how well is your finances, are you winning or losing, are you making money or losing money? These are all factors that continuously affects uh, affects your behavior. So that's why behavior is something that needs constantly monitoring. Rather than like having a lot of tools, rather than observing the market a lot, and I believe that information overload can sometimes be a problem for the traders as well. So that's pretty much it. That's why we did it actually.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We're getting a lot of questions in from the audience here, so I want to try and kind of get through some of these as quick as we can. So, uh, yeah, let's try and pick up the pace a little bit. I want to ask you a question forward to me by Femboy Slayer 69. Thanks so much for your question. What data sources does Krypteia use to make its recommendations? Does the AI learn or train itself from the users? This is a pretty simple question.
Yes, it is. It looks at every possible metrics, but rather than prompts, uh, like you, how can I put it? You can't rely on isolated prompts and you interpret the behavior. Okay, that's
Hmm.
why your actions through the portfolio, through the trade section matters a lot, because there are buttons, and you can by combining different indicators or price levels, you can input your strategy. We see what you put, what you combine, what were the levels, how you adhere with those levels, what was your reaction time, have you edited or changed your strategy a lot. That gives us, for example, information about your hesitation status. So everything that you do within the app with those two modules counts.
Yeah. Okay, so we're taking data points because AI really benefits from kind of collecting that data. It needs context to provide the best kind of responses.
Exactly. The more data we have, the more strong analytics we can put.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. We've had a couple of decent questions from Swiss, who's one of our lead analysts here on the server.
Mhm.
Swiss is asking how Krypteia's AI actually manages to understand the psychology behind people's behaviors, especially when it's paper. They're paper trades. This is something that we've not really covered yet. But yeah,
Mhm.
Krypteia as a platform currently in its current kind of state, um, paper trades are how it kind of like understands people's trading patterns. So do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Um, can I get the question again?
Yeah, sorry, that was a little bit of a mess. But essentially, as a behavioral platform where we're tracking people's kind of psychological response to trades, trading real money is psychologically very different to trading paper, which is exactly how Krypteria is built. It's built around paper trading. So, do you maybe want to speak a little bit about how you can compensate for this difference?
Okay. So the thing is, let's, let me first. I think it's two questions. Let me first answer the first one. Oh, in terms of the behavioral detection, like we are using LLM, okay. But if we use detection for LLM, it would be quite a mess. Because the thing with LLM is even though it's a very flexible system and it helps in various ways, it can decrease the accuracy and precision a lot. That's why what we did was for behavioral patterns, we have implemented a flexible code, hard coding, let me say.
Mhm.
And after the detection, which is supported by a scoring, LLM gets notified. So that's how we do it. And
Yeah,
let me just give you a case study because I have seen a question about like, please could you give an example? So I could answer two questions at the same time, which was a good
yeah,
question in my opinion. So let's talk about revenge trade, okay? So what Krypteia does is it observes three things, okay? What strategy was implemented by the user, trader? What was their reaction towards it? And what were the market contexts during those times? So when you observe these three things, the behavior becomes visible. For revenge trading, what would happen is if someone holds a product, okay, or has an open position with that product, and for example, in last 1 hour, if the product has dropped value of about like 10%, maybe more, maybe less, and then the system flags, and then, sorry, if the trader opens a new position with that specific product, then the system flags it as a possible revenge trade behavior.
yeah,
But if we notify the user every time that it does that, then we can make quite a mistake. So what we did it, we made a scoring. So for that scoring, how many times you have done that matters. After you open one position, opening multiple positions matter. Your position size increases matter. Also, if you have done it across multiple products, that matters as well. And after that, it evaluates. After it reaches a certain threshold, it gets directly notified to the user.
yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
for the
What do you
second
have a
thing,
name for this kind of like intelligence?
it's called a, not really, but like the whole system is called as a decision intelligence. So
Decision intelligence. Okay,
exactly. It's
excellent.
a
So
it's a very new category. That's why people don't know it. Usually, like big companies use it in order to make better decisions.
yeah,
But we are quite one of the first movers that apply it per user.
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah, because you must need a kind of like dedicated memory for every single user that uses the app, right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think this is kind of how AI is changing in general. This is a change we're seeing across all AI companies. Is the kind of like allocation of memory to user agents to kind of give them a little bit longer term memory. So it looks like that's exactly what Krypteia is doing. It's really on the nose with regards to like market and technology movements. So that's really cool. I do want to ask as well. There is obviously a big difference in a person's psychological response between someone who trades on a longer time frame or just HODLs versus someone who trades on a really short time frame, like a day trader, for example. Would you
Mhm.
say Krypteia is designed more in mind with the day trader, or is it kind of designed for maybe a bit of both?
In my opinion, a bit of both, because like if you go to the portfolio section, you can declare about two intentions per asset.
Yep,
So it's actually works as a guardrail. So if you have a strategy drift, for example, if I declare as an hodl, but I started trading and that asset weekly on weekly basis, and the system detects and notifies me. The leverage of this is to give me a feedback about whether my declaration was matching with my actual behavior. So it's a guardrail. So
I see. Yeah, okay.
rather than just one approach, we are supporting four approaches now. So it's hodl, swing trading, momentum trading, and scalp trading.
Okay, awesome. I've got another question here. It's about the kind of integration with other apps. So a point was raised as a user, um, they might quickly fatigue from doing manual data entries. So is this something that's intending to be remedied in later versions of Krypteia, or is it going to be paper trades for the foreseeable?
So we are definitely strongly considering it, integrating that to our
Yeah,
app in the near future because it's much more practical. But when you think about the architecture of the Krypteia, it's composed of one chatbot that does technical analysis, compare it with your portfolio results and your emotions, and like structures all the information. Then a trade section, which is a combination of signal generator tool and a trading journal. So basically, as I explained, you combine different indicators and levels or price levels. And when your predefined conditions are met, you'll get notified and you can input amounts. So you know what amount you need to sell when you open your exchange. And then when you confirm those executions with just pressing a button, it turns into a trading journal. And there's also a portfolio tracker. So there are tools doing that, which are not necessarily connected with the, how can I say, with the exchanges or the wallets. But as you said, especially not maybe for the uh, signal generator part, because most of the exchanges that I know does not support like uh, support users to combine indicators then get
yeah.
notifications according to it. But in order to get a reaction data, yes, we can definitely do that. And it's one of our main goals to achieve in the near future.
Awesome. I also have a question from one of our members, Max Peace. He's asking if Krypteia has undergone any kind of like security audits. The app itself, I'm assuming.
Mhm. To be honest, like you know, SEC in the United States,
Yeah, yeah,
we got an approval from an ex-worker there, high-ranked ex-worker there, that it doesn't give financial advices, that like the user is always intact, and user has the all control. It does not predict about the markets, and actually you can go and see and test it yourselves. You know, we are a beta stage app now. We have uploaded our iOS for Apple's review. We are going to do the same for the Google as well. So the definition of decision intelligence is like the user needs to make decisions in order for us to help them. So it
yeah,
is not an OS. So there is not too much to go and check it as well,
yeah.
other than being compliant with the financial consultancy.
There's a lot of interest in the state here about basically the security of that data. Basically, can we get a reassurance that the data is held in a secure manner, I suppose?
Yeah, to be honest, we won't see you. Yeah, we don't see you. At beta stage, yes, we will see you. But after
Okay,
beta
great.
stage, your usernames will be hashed. There will be an external username, an internal username. At your external username, we see your data in order to provide you information if something goes wrong, if we need to contact you for somehow, you know. Of course, we need to have your emails, for example. We don't even ask for the phone, ask for the address, ask for anything. And your username will be hashed and at a different table all your app interactions will be written, recorded.
Yep. Okay, yeah, and just to remind everybody, Krypteia is going into essentially beta testing. So they are, as a platform, looking to make improvements to their service, and that's partly why we think the review program is something that's going to benefit them a lot. So, guys, make sure you take that feedback and put it in your review forms, for which you will qualify for the airdrop. Osman, I did want to go back to something that we spoke about earlier. You brought up revenge trading as
Mm-hmm.
a kind of quote unquote decision making problem. Are there
Mm-hmm.
other things that people blame the market for and call market problems, but again are examples of erroneous decision making on their part?
Many actually.
Yeah.
Um, so, uh, yani mm, many traders think they need better information when they actually need better consistency, let me say. So, many of them believe they need better signals. Often they already know what should do. But the challenge is applying it consistently, applying it in the changing environment. When I say environment, I'm saying in their lives, financially or so, and also the market. And to be honest, frankly, they already know that they shouldn't revenge trade, chase candles, abandon
Yeah.
risk rules. The
Oh, the money I've lost.
exactly. So
Yeah.
the real challenge appears when emotions, uncertainty, or even excitement enters the process. So that's where the decision making becomes more important than information, actually.
Yeah. That makes sense. So I get the impression Krypteia is trying to create a new feedback loop where there is a trader's response to a market movement, the AI's response to the trader's behavioral decision making, which then goes back to kind of reinforce or reteach the trader about what kind of moves they should make next.
Exactly. Like as a definition, in order for a system to declare itself as a decision intelligence layer, it needs to satisfy 7 conditions. Okay. Firstly, it needs to give context. Then it needs to detect patterns. It needs to give insights. It needs to do structuring, which is really important for our app as well. It needs to create loops for the users. Then it needs to learn about users in time. So
Hmm.
when you do all that, you basically help users to make better decisions because you basically mirror the parts that they cannot detect on their own.
Okay. I want to bring up a point made by a user of ours, No Fear, who's really just curious about um, the interpretation of emotions by your um, behavioral kind of like platform. So the platform can only ostensibly take data points such as trades made, time taken to make or to open or close a position, that kind of thing. So how does the AI actually correctly interpret emotions from such a limited number of data points?
Yeah, to be honest, if you give me a short time, I can open a document to you. Like we are collecting much more data than that, which I'm gonna explain, but it will give you an uh, you know a reference point.
Okay.
So when we will collect the data, we will first write about market context. So first thing is the market regime. So there is trending up, down, choppy, or high volatility. Then also the volatility state. Then the event pressure, for example, scheduled CPI, Fed meeting, ETF flows. And then your activity. So total number of trades, planned versus unplanned trades, average holding time, plan modification, asset concentration, canceled trades, net P&L, profit factor, win rate, average outcome per trade, rule adherence,
Okay, so
premature
it's a big
exit.
list.
Exactly. This is a great
Yeah,
list.
okay.
So that's why we, rather than using AI for detection, we need to use hard coding, a flexible hard coding, because with that too much information, AI would get overwhelmed, miss several points, you know,
Mm,
and it would decrease precision and accuracy, as I explained earlier. That's why we
yeah.
have made a, how can I say, a hard coding system. So the outcomes of the hard coding, AI gets it. Inputs, AI gets it as well. But the processor is the hard coding part, not the AI part for that part. So it's quite precise and accurate, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I've got a couple other questions. We're getting a lot of questions about the kind of like operational, functional side of the application. So there are people who have tried out and maybe they're having a couple of problems with it. Again, I know we've already covered this. It is a beta, so a lot of these things will be worked on. But one of the questions is about the indicators. So
Mhm.
SB Papa is curious to know if the indicators that you set up for a position are going to be persistent and stay on app sessions, or are they going to be wiped every time that you close the app?
No, it's always open. Like once you like open a position by defining your rules,
Hmm.
when you close the app, yeah, just close it. Just don't look to app again. When your conditions are met, you will get notified with a push notification. That's the thing. You don't need to constantly watch the markets, watch the, for example, trading view, watch the technical levels, which can overwhelm you. Rather than that, just write your predefined rule, and you get notified when your conditions are met.
And do you have anything for automatically closing positions that you've opened?
Like you can close manually, or
Yeah, of
like if
course. Yeah.
or like if you satisfy for example, when you open a trade, okay, you buy, for example, 2 Ethereums, and you have one take profit and one stop loss. Like when you just click when your take profit has reached and both of the numbers are 2 there again, your position gets closed automatically. So
Okay.
like all of the users at the moment, for the basic model that we are going to launch with, have will have up to 3 open trades. So
Okay.
per
3 at once.
every exactly, and we are supporting more than 10 indicators, including complex ones like Ichimoku. And you can define up to 3 take profits and three stop losses as well.
Yeah.
So you can combine many indicators and many levels. For example, when you input, for example, Fibonacci for your take profit 1, Fibonacci level, for your take profit 2, you don't have to choose Fibonacci again. You can choose, for example, MACD. And this is quite flexible and useful in our opinion, to be honest.
Okay. So for a position that's like automatically closed, say it hits stop loss or take profit, is the AI able to take a behavioral data point from an automated position or no?
Can you elaborate on that?
So the AI is taking data points to kind of improve its behavioral tracking. But
Exactly.
when you're automatically opening or closing a position based on certain market conditions, is the AI actually able to understand an automated trade from a kind of like a psychological standpoint, or not? Is it mostly focused on positions that are open and closed manually?
Um, both actually, both
Yeah.
actually. But to be honest, it's more of a manual, because
More
reaction
manual.
time is also very important.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, okay. Last call, guys. If anybody would like to come up on the stage and ask their question vocally, please look for the button and press it. There will be additional rewards to people who come up on the stage to ask their questions. And just like clockwork, Max Peace, if you would like to come up, I've sent you an invite. Okay, welcome,
Hello.
Max Peace.
Hi, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Okay, perfect. I have two questions and I'll keep it simple. First question is if someone's new to trading, let's say, for example, my wife's interested and she has no background, how user-friendly is Krypteia's AI? Can she like just pick it up easily? Or is it going to be like other trading platforms and AIs where one who's still new would get lost? Yeah, that's the first question. Second question, is there an example where Krypteia's AI got a market call wrong? And how did the team or how did they improve on this? How did they learn from this? Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So to respond your first questions is pretty easy. Because the thing is, the main reason that we used AI, one of the main reasons that we used AI is the beginner traders. Because without getting exhausted, it can explain everything. Depending on the sophistication of the user, depending on how much they want to learn. So it has all the information. What about the indicators? What are their concept ranges? What's the risk management? What would, from a contextual point, a conservative portfolio would look like? What is like, what like, what are so-called macro things such as liquidity, and market cap? What does that mean? And it explains really good. Just check it yourself. You will just see it. That's the first thing. The second thing, yes, we received some wrong calls. We are working with a provider that provides all the technical analysis and levels to us. There was no problem with them, but there was a problem with us, one of our detection, because rather than we are a small team. Firstly, we are two co-founders, and there is one full stack developer and one AI engineer. And our full stack developer thought, for example, for a buy condition, which I set at, for example, for Bitcoin at 60,000. If the price is, for example, 58,000, I was getting notification. And I didn't understand why. I asked him several times, went through his code. Then I seen that even though he was like trying to make it like out of a good intention, since rather than buying at 60,000, 58,000 is more profitable, he did the code that way. So I told him that this logic is wrong. We need to change it. We need to rely on price crossings rather than like beneath the price or above the price. Not that. You should strictly go with price crossing. And then we fixed it.
Thank you so much, Osman, for your transparency. I'm feeling good, about Krypteia, and that's why I'm asking these detailed questions. Thank you, guys.
No
Thanks
worries.
so much, Max. Take care. All right. We've got another user who is asking to come up. Nix, I've sent you an invite, so please. And welcome to the stage.
Hello. Yeah, so my question is like as your platform is like more focused on AI, so like does the AI only track trades that are taken on the platform, or will there be an option to link brokers to the app so that it can extract data from it and give us the analysis on that data?
So at the moment, no, it does not have connections to brokers. But yes, it is our plan. It's one of our main plans to integrate it with exchanges and brokers. But the thing is, when we connect it, the only data that we can get will be your reaction data, so the user's reaction data. So when did they sell, when did they buy, what reactions they give, with those. But in order to learn about your strategy, we cannot get information from the broker's site or the exchange. And rather than that, you need the tool, and that tool is already in the app. So to answer your question, would it make it practical? Yes, it would make it much more practical. But still, we cannot rely just on the integration with the brokers or exchanges.
Yeah, that makes sense again because Krypteia would then be missing out on a bunch of the really important data points that are used to improve the platform. Thanks so much for your question, Nix.
Yeah. Okay, and my second question would be I
Sorry,
see a
dude.
new option.
We've only got time for one question. Thanks so much. Okay, Coinbro, I've sent you an invite to come up and ask your own question, so please come on up. Okay, one question, thank you, and try and keep it short.
Okay, no problem. I would like to ask Usman, how experienced is the team behind Krypteia, and how vast have you guys gone in the crypto space, and is this your first rodeo or not?
So for me, I have been trading crypto, okay, since 2021. And before that, I was trading since 2018. And that's pretty much it. But my uh, undergraduate degree was based on engineering. So engineering is based on modeling. And what we did is basically model a behavior, a trader's behavior. That's the first thing. My co-founder has been working in the AI since 2020. And he worked at trading bots. He was basically like working at a company designing trading bots for other companies. And he has founded 5 companies. He was a co-founder of 5 companies. He exited 3 of them. So he's quite good at it. So he has been working with the AI engineer that he has worked throughout his projects. He's really good at heavy duty, worked with him. And our full stack developer has helped building system for private equities as well. So this is pretty much our team actually.
Well, thanks so much for the question, Coinbro. He's just left, but I'm sure he would thank you for your time as well. There's a couple more things I'd like to ask, but we'll be wrapping this up pretty shortly. So we've had a few questions about how Krypteia is for a new user, someone who is maybe new to crypto or just new to trading. But what kind of value can Krypteia offer to a trader who is a lot more experienced and has been in the game for a much longer time?
Um, so actually, like I tried to explain it with another question. So as I told you, like one common assumption is that the tools like this are only useful for traders who make frequent mistakes, and we don't necessarily see it that way. For example, in one time, you can take many trades, reach to a certain PNL, but sometimes you can make less trades and reach the same PNL as well. So with less effort, you actually can make the same PNL. For example, you can discover this. As I explained, which strategies perform best under specific market conditions, how does performance change across volatility environments, how does execution behavior change during winning and losing streaks, when does strategy drift begin to appear. So the goal isn't only to identify errors. Often the most valuable insight isn't finding a mistake, it's discovering a pattern. It's just like even in the sports game, uh, assume that I play basketball and I make 3 free throws. The angle that I shoot, my release time, my breath, where I look at, my feet placement, whether I jump or not, These are all things that would affect my free throw, for example. And even very experienced basketball players, for example, go and look for these things. The same goes for trading as well. So not necessarily for only FOMO, only overconfidence over these kind of mistakes, but also the patterns are really important. That's why even experienced traders could benefit from this.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for the answer there. And we'll be wrapping this up just about now, but I want to ask you one last thing. From GigaChat's community and everybody in the audience here, everybody who will be participating in the review program itself, what are you hoping to learn from us, our community over here?
Oh, we believe that we built a good product, good insights, but we are here to learn, not just to present. So we are still early, and active traders often describe problems differently than how they actually experience them. We are interested in understanding what traders struggle the most, what feels useful within our app, what feels unnecessary, where our assumptions might be wrong. Some of the best product decisions came directly back from trader feedback when we built this product. So that's why conversations like this and connection like this is incredibly valuable for us. Not only you guys using the chatbot, and which is very efficient. I know that it's synced with all modules, but I would encourage you to use the trade section, portfolio section, other sections as well, so that you guys could inform us the necessary part, unnecessary parts, the parts that we need to improve. So you will be the guys who will shape the product at the end of the day, and that's what we are expecting from you.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Osman. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of everybody here. There is genuine interest in this platform. I think you've found a unique opportunity here to offer something that nobody else is offering. Um, we've taken a little snapshot for those of you who can see the chat. We have taken your attendance, like your teacher did in school. So we may be providing additional rewards to those of you who spend a decent amount of time in the AMA today. Obviously, not everybody could stay here for the full duration, but we are glad to have had all of you here. Everybody, we're really glad that you came. And we really hope that you all engage with the review program as well. This is a separate thing to the AMA. If you want the link to the review program, we'll post it here in the chat, but you can also find the link in the announcements channel, which is just in the bar on your left. Closing comments, Osman, for everybody here?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, do you have any closing comments for everybody here?
Sorry.
No worries, no worries.
Oh, guys, thank you for the questions. From the right-hand side, I've seen that you were not really happy with the Android version. The reason that is we do not have too many Android phones at the same time. So the problem with the Android is it changed a lot from a phone to phone. But we will solve it, don't worry. The public link just got released. That's why it could take some time, but we'll figure it out, don't worry, guys. And thank you
And
for
Awesome.
all of you to join and ask your questions, make comments. That's very valuable. And please test the product and give us feedback.
yep, thanks so much, Osman. And Alan, you've
I
just
just,
appeared on
yeah,
stage.
I have indeed. I just want to say also, Osman, so there are a few unanswered questions in the chat, so feel free to engage with them after the AMA and as well with the rest of the server. There are questions that pop up every now and then. So,
Okay, where will they ask the questions? From the right-hand side from here, right? The AMA stage?
yeah, so that's there's some unanswered questions in there. So feel free to just go through that and then answer people in the replies in
We
text
can
as well
make
if you want.
we can make a Q&A channel, so
If you
we
could
can
make a
put
Q&A
unanswered ones
channel,
there,
that would
and
be great.
Absolutely.
yeah, let's do that. It keeps it more organized. Okay, Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Osman. This is our first AMA in a little bit, and we're hoping it's the first AMA of a cycle. So hopefully we'll have more to offer you all. We will be distributing some rewards via airdrop to those of you who participate in the review program. And even those who don't participate in the review program, you'll still be beneficiaries indirectly through the GigaChat reward program. So please keep engaging, keep chatting, keep learning. Most of all, we're a place for you to learn. We're a place for you to practice and get advice from people more experienced than yourself. So make full use of this server. That's why we're here. Thank you all so much for coming, Osman. It's been a complete pleasure. And we'll
For me
catch you
too.
guys. We'll catch you guys elsewhere. I'm sure you'll be able to see Osman in the Q&A channel that we create. Otherwise, we'll see you all in the other chats. Thanks so much for coming.